So, what if I told you that the single most powerful thing you can do for your health has nothing to do with what you eat, but has everything to do with when you don't eat? We're constantly told that good health stands on two main pillars, diet and exercise. We focus so much on eating all the right foods and moving our bodies. But what if there's a third, maybe even more fundamental pillar that we've been almost completely ignoring? Okay, let's just dive right into the heart of it. The central idea we're exploring today is a really bold one, that fasting could be the single best thing you can do for your health. Yeah, more important than what you eat, and maybe even more important than exercise. Now that's a huge statement, so let's unpack the science behind a claim like that. To understand this, we have to start with this core idea. We're all walking around with an ancient body in a modern world. The entire argument really rests on this one central conflict. We are running ancient biological hardware in a completely new environment. Just think about it for a second. For almost all of human history, our bodies became absolute masters of survival. They were fine-tuned to handle really tough challenges, like not having enough food, dealing with extreme cold, and physical danger. But here's the thing. Our bodies didn't see these as negative stressors. They were actually signals that activated our survival genes, making us stronger and way more resilient. And this slide just lays out the mismatch perfectly. On one side, you have the world our bodies were built for, periods of hunger, physical struggle, and on the other side, our modern reality, food available 24/7, sitting around most of the day, and just constant eating, from the moment we wake up till we go to bed. We've gone from a natural cycle of feast and famine to just feast. And that constant feast is a profound shock to our ancient system. So, this brings us to our next point, the pancreas's burden. What's the first part of our body to really feel the strain from this constant feasting? Well, it's that small but incredibly important organ, your pancreas. Now, what's really fascinating here is how this shows a kind of slow motion burnout. Every single time you eat, especially carbs, your blood sugar goes up. Your pancreas then has to jump into action and release insulin to move that sugar into your cells for energy. But when you eat constantly, this process is happening over and over and over again, forcing the pancreas to work without a single break. And eventually, your cells just get overwhelmed and they start to ignore insulin's signal. And here is the really crucial point. This whole thing is a silent crisis. You can go for decades, literally 10, 20, even 30 years, with your standard blood sugar tests looking perfectly normal. But behind the scenes, your pancreas is screaming for help, pumping out dangerously high levels of insulin, just trying to keep your blood sugar in check. This condition has a name. It's called insulin resistance. It's that critical tipping point where your body's cells have pretty much stopped listening to insulin. So the pancreas works harder and harder until eventually it just gets exhausted and can't keep up anymore. This is the direct road to metabolic problems like type 2 diabetes. Okay, so if the problem is the state of constant eating, the solution is, well, it's not some complicated new diet or a fancy supplement. It's actually breathtakingly simple. And the solution is right here. The single most powerful thing you can do is to simply eat less often. It's not about counting calories or macros, at least not at first. It's about giving your digestive system, and especially your pancreas, a much-needed and, honestly, a well-deserved break. So what does that break actually look like? Well, it's very straightforward. During your fasting window, you can have things that don't trigger an insulin response. We're talking black coffee, unsweetened herbal tea, or water with a little bit of lemon. What you have to avoid are the sugary drinks, the sodas, the juices, anything that would immediately break the fast and start that whole insulin cycle all over again. Now, this isn't just about giving the pancreas a day off. The research we're explaining uses this really powerful metaphor. Fasting acts like a healing balm. The beta cells, those are the specific cells in your pancreas that make insulin, they don't just get a break. They actually get a chance to repair, recover, and protect themselves from more damage. And the end result of all this rest and repair is incredible. Your body's cells start listening to insulin again. That sensitivity gets restored, which effectively reverses the root cause of the problem and sets you up for much better metabolic health. So let's look at what this slide calls the power of fasting. Because once your body is freed from the constant work of digestion, it can unlock a whole new set of really powerful biological programs. When you're not constantly feeding it sugar, your body flips a switch and starts using a different, superior fuel source. It starts burning your own stored fat. This process creates molecules called ketones. You can think of these as a high-octane, clean-burning fuel for your body and brain. They actually produce fewer inflammatory byproducts than glucose. And one type in particular, BHB, is known to improve brain function, mental clarity, and even your mood. This switch in fuel triggers a powerful cascade of positive effects that ripple through your entire system. We're talking better brain function from those ketones, a huge reduction in chronic inflammation, a boost in your body's own antioxidant production, a healthier gut, and of course that all-important return to insulin sensitivity. It's basically a total body reset. Let's talk about those antioxidants for a second. The stresses of modern life, everything from pollution to processed foods, create damage inside our cells. Well, fasting actually supercharges your body's own internal defense and repair systems, allowing it to fight off this damage much more effectively. Your immune system gets a major upgrade too. Fasting helps create a more diverse and robust community of good bacteria in your gut. And this healthier internal ecosystem is directly linked to a stronger, more resilient immune response. And this information is especially timely. With Ramadan just around the corner, this is actually the perfect opportunity to start preparing your body by practicing intermittent fasting. It can make that transition so much smoother and more beneficial. So we'll leave you with this final thought. We spend so much time and energy searching for the next superfood to add to our diet or the next supplement to take. But what if the true secret to profound health isn't about adding anything at all, but about the simple, powerful act of taking things away?
Please subscribe to my channel, HealthWise USA.